now hit your button.
Aha, yeah. Now, right, okay.
Here we go.
We'll go live.
All right, here we go.
We're away.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to another edition of the IWC Radio Podcast, live on YouTube and wherever you happen to be listening to us from. Joining us this week, believe it or not, Mr. Beans on Toast. How's it going?
Hello.
All right, now let's just make sure that this is actually... Oh yeah, it's definitely working now. Okay, let me just let me mute this tab here. There we go. All right. And also Chucks is here. Right? How's it going?
Hey, I'm so pumped. I'm so pumped that I finally get to take the piss out of Beans some more. It's been so long.
I can just go, guys. You know
There's
that,
so many things. Hey, Beans, where have you been?
Oh my god!
I've been sitting on that one for about 5 months.
Oh my god! 5 months, and that's the best you can come up with.
It's not been 5 months, has it?
I mean, we're in July. WrestleMania was like late March, early April.
Yeah, early April.
That's not 5 months.
Let's see.
Yeah, but real feel 5 months.
Yeah, the real feel is definitely 5 months. So let's see. April, count that as 1. May, it's 2. June, that would be 3. And now we're in July. It's 4.
It's 3.
Yeah, definitely the real feel would be 5.
Yeah, real feel 5 months.
Anyway, I'm here to cash in my Money in the Bank contract.
Oh.
But what would you be? Because everyone who wins the Money in the Bank has to have like a Money in the Bank themed nickname. So there was Bailey in the bank. There was the Monster in the bank. There's the Beast in the bank, I guess.
Oh.
Are you like the bean in the bank? The bean in the can?
Yeah, whatever.
I don't know. We have to come up with something.
I'm just gonna wait until you think that I'm actually gonna do it, and then I'm just gonna shout, Friday. Friday. Gonna do
Friday?
it on Friday.
Friday.
These are all references from last month. You should have been saying this stuff last month. You haven't been here.
No.
We did all of this.
Yeah, that's true. we have.
I'm sorry.
It's one giant rerun that we're in. Trapped in.
We've got so much to catch up on.
God.
You won the prediction contest for last year.
Yeah.
You caught up at WrestleMania. You beat me by 1 point.
Whoa, hang on a minute. Whoa, you mean that I did it again?
Yeah, I think so.
You did it
it's
again.
been a while. I can't really remember.
Yes, you did it again.
Was I what?
Yeah.
I've been sat here for 5 months and not known I've champ.
Oh my God. Yes.
Yeah.
Damn it. I really am Brock Lesnar.
You really are.
I'm trying to find the music here. Can't find it. Anyway, you won. You won. Congratulations, you won.
It's all feeling strangely familiar, but I don't know if that's from the year before, because I've only shown up a handful of times anyway, so, So,
wait a minute. He didn't win. I just pulled up the WrestleMania sheet, Chucks. What are you talking about?
Oh wait, was that last year? Oh, it's been so long. I don't know.
I'm getting screwed here, aren't I?
I
can't do this to a first-time father whose mind is scrambled.
I think he's taking the piss out of you.
Yeah. Well, it worked.
It worked as well for me, because I fell for it as well.
I actually started to believe it.
You're always getting ready with the Hall of Fame music to coronate Beans' championship that he didn't win.
It's just another Chuck's heel turn.
Yeah, apparently.
Yeah, another.
Also, by the way, Will, who's also... I should acknowledge this. He's not here this week. He's out with the flu, Ebola, plague.
He's got Ebola.
God.
He wasn't feeling well, so he's given this week a skip. I'm sure he'll be back.
He's
next
on assignment
week.
then.
Yeah, he's on assignment. Yeah. Sorry, Will, if you hear this.
See you in 5 months.
See you in 5 months. Exactly. Enjoy your vacation.
I'm on about mine. I'm going back on one.
Oh, there you go.
I've
I've already cracked mine open. It's a Sprite. Just a regular Sprite.
A regular Sprite.
Yeah. I'm like Jim Cornette this week.
Yeah. Do they still have sugar in Sprite over there, or is it all switched to aspartame?
There's regular Sprite, and then there's Diet Sprite, I think, or Sprite Zero, I should say.
Yeah.
Did he charge you extra for the normal Sprite?
Sugar tax there.
Well, no, I think we have the fucking tariff on aluminum cans and whatnot. I think that's the only tax that we have. But other than that, you just gotta get it when it's on sale. I don't know if you guys have sales over there, but
yeah, we have sales. We invented sales.
Oh, okay.
We sailed over there and gave you a country.
Oh, hey! Got him.
Got him, I guess.
Well, we just recently celebrated our independence from you, so...
Yeah, ungrateful.
Blow on that.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
But Sprite sucks, though. So you got the last laugh in the end. We've got a sugar tax, and Sprite is full.
That is
sweet.
wild to me that you guys have a fucking sugar tax over there. That's not cool.
You know what else isn't cool? Video games can't have boobs in anymore.
What?
It's a wild tangent, but yes.
Well, I'm just saying, all the things that we're supposed to be able to enjoy now we're adults, we can't.
Excuse me?
Have you seen Mortal Kombat 11? Everyone wears burkas, totally covered up. True story.
Oh my god.
And the Final Fantasy remake Tifa does not look the same.
Here we go.
Oh dear.
This is a can of worms
This
I
is
was not expecting
the real
to be
issue.
open.
The real issue in this is the Final Fantasy thing, isn't it?
Well, I don't actually play Mortal Kombat, but it's a principle. It's the principle of it. I'm a grown man. I should be allowed to play adult-themed games without going to hell.
Everybody in Mortal Kombat 11 wears burkas. That's a hell of a quote.
Okay, not literal burkas. Some of them are battle suits, but there is at least one burka.
I'm pretty sure that's just the character. That
It
has
wasn't
been
in the
before.
last gun.
Well,
Are you
maybe.
sure? What character is it?
Oh god, I don't know. I don't play Mortal Kombat.
Wow, exposed. Exposed.
Well, I don't
there
like
you
it.
go. Oh, well.
But
What are you up in
Well, you
arms
might
about?
not, you might
Scarlet.
not be able to see
Scarlet.
boobs in it, but you can still rip people's heads off.
exactly,
Yeah.
that's my problem. What are you saving us from?
Nobody gets pregnant with violence, Chucks.
I don't know about that.
Oh no! You're not supposed to go down that road.
No, you're not. No.
This is taking a dark turn.
It really has. I want to talk some wrestling.
Yeah, speaking of violence, things got quite violent in AEW.
Yeah, should we get into the prediction game
Nice
here?
segue.
Yeah. My God.
Seeing as this is turning into a depressing night already.
Oh!
Hey, there you go.
What are you drinking? What was that?
This, sadly, is just Pepsi Max.
Oh, okay. What was the other can earlier, by the way, for score?
Pepsi Max.
Oh. All right.
I got two on the table. I just thought I'd open the second one because it will be drank soon. So.
Gotcha. Oh my God. Oh, Scarlet. Oh, I see.
Yeah.
Yeah, they really did cover her up. Wow. You weren't kidding about the burqa, by the way.
Thank you.
That is not a burqa.
I
I mean,
mean,
it's about as close to a battle burqa as you can have, right?
A battle burqa.
You can have a burkini, you can have a battle burqa.
I kind of agree with Chucks.
Oh dear.
Anyway.
This is going down a dangerous road.
Yeah, well, yeah, a little bit. Video games were a thing. At
Not
Fyter
anymore in
Fest.
Chuck's house.
No, not at all.
Video games are a thing. Hey, this is two segues. This is brilliant. This is the best we've ever done.
Yeah.
Speaking of video games, did you see the wonderful Street Fighter entrance from the AEW show?
Exactly.
A little bit, yeah. I think I had to rewind, and the Bleacher Report live scrubber kind of sucks because WWE Network's like go back 10 seconds features kind of spoiled me whenever I need to like go back and recapture something or like re-quote something, and it didn't have that feature for Bleacher Report, so going back was like really tedious. Like the slightest rewind was like 5 minutes or something. It was crazy. Yeah.
That's a big rage. The media players that don't work very well. Even the WWE one, it's good that you can do the skip back, but it takes too long to reload what you were just watching.
Yeah.
At least the YouTube, you can just hit J or L and it'll just jump.
Or the arrow keys, because that jumps back
the arrow
5.
keys.
I'm too scared if I'm ever watching anything live on the WWE network to ever touch it, because I think I did it at the very beginning, and it just like, for all of a sudden it like, because we were watching it slightly on delay, and it like jumped forward and spoiled something, and then I was trying to get it back, and then it went to the program before the bloody pay-per-view, and it just went crazy.
I hate that it's not reliable to resume watching where you left off. So sometimes you have to fast forward through the whole show, and you can't see where matches, if you're on the app at least. You can on the website. There's no little markers.
Yeah, and also I had an instance when I started putting it on, and it had already started, and it was probably about halfway through the show. And I said watch from the beginning, and as soon as the stream started, it started where it was actually live.
Yeah.
And ruined something. And then about 10 seconds into it, then it jumped back. No, I don't know, it was probably over a year ago. But it was just
Brock Lesnar.
Just caught him shouting Friday.
But to answer your question, I caught the tidbits of the entrance, and hey, if you like Street Fighter, I mean, it's resonated with you. It looked cool, so
yeah, it was something different.
I know Jim Cornette was not a fan of it.
Shocker.
Any particular reason?
He didn't like the fact that they did the Hadoukens and whatnot, and the Lucha tag team all fell over to like an invisible energy blast and whatnot, and that really like made him irate because it felt like Cornette felt like it was making like a mockery of the business, yada yada yada, stuff like that.
It's things like that. I really want to disagree with Cornette, but like he's not wrong.
He's not.
Like, he seems to completely misunderstand that it's fun and people enjoyed it, but it's true. It was stupid.
Yeah. In a way, it kind of was.
Yeah. I've also heard complaints about the whole, because they were doing the Fyre Fest parody where
really
all the bags got lost and the catering was terrible, and all the stuff, there's tents everywhere.
Cheese on bread.
Cheese on bread, exactly.
That should be Jack's nickname.
Is what?
That should be Jack's nickname, Cheese on Bread.
Cheese on bread. You should grab that on Twitter now. You never know what's going to happen in the next 10 years. Someone might have it.
It's true. Let me take a look real quick.
But
I can't do that because there already is someone called Cheese on Toast.
Not
What
cheese
about
on
cheese
toast,
on bread?
cheese on bread, yeah. Let's see. Oh, there's somebody with 8 followers named
Oh
Cheese
my
on Bread.
god.
They joined.
There's even a cheese on bread 22.
I think you can knock them out though somehow. I think. I'm not sure.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah,
If they have.
give them the Hadouken.
Yeah, there you go. Just do that. I think if you contact Twitter somehow, they could just be like, "All right, this account hasn't logged in since forever, so you can have it."
How about doing that with IWC Radio?
I was just going to say, that was one thing that I could not get sorted that
That's
drove
true.
me absolutely up the wall.
That's true. Yeah.
Bloody Iowa Wesley something Tiger. Whatever the hell that is.
Yeah.
Yeah, so there were people complaining about this kind of low budget whatever thing on their second show when they're trying to establish themselves as, you know, a big deal. It made them look kind of low rent. Bush League, in my opinion.
Those Nitro girls.
What made them look low rent?
Well, making out that they've got no money, they couldn't afford to have the models on the stage, and they couldn't get catering right, or, you know, that kind of thing. I disagree, because it was a joke.
It
and
was a
everything went
self-ribbing
fine.
joke. Yeah.
You know, it's not like anything on the actual show went wrong.
No.
So I disagree with that, but there were people who made that point.
I mean, the Bush League factor didn't come in until way later, which we'll get into.
I don't know. Pre-show, I'm not a fan of the librarians. I don't get it.
I cracked this joke on Twitter where I said they would be a big hit in Japan because of all the silence.
Silence, yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like what's his name? North Furnham, yeah.
North Furnham.
Yeah, I feel like North Furnham's somewhat of an incel after what he did to that mannequin on the stage. More than anything, then
I did not see any of this.
You didn't miss much then.
You didn't see the pre-show?
No, I didn't see the
Sign
pre-show.
up for BR Live?
Yeah, it was a surprise pre-show match where it was... What do they call him in AEW? PD Avalon, right?
Peter Avalon, yeah.
Yeah, okay. Peter Avalon and Leva Bates, who are both like literal librarians. That's the gimmick. And they just go around shushing people, and that somehow is okay for a gimmick. And they went against Allie from... she went up against Allie from Impact Wrestling before they killed her off.
Her
And I
Twitter
take
name
it
is
wasn't
still
very
Ali
Yeah,
Impact.
Allie Impact, yeah. Figure that one out. But, yeah, I'm with Chucks. I'm not really sold on the librarian gimmick. I think it's... I will admit, it's silly, it's something new, it's something different, but it doesn't really click with me. I don't know how you
I'm
guys
okay
feel
with a
about it.
bit of silly. I like new and different, but this... I think you can't... Different isn't always good. Sometimes different is bad, and unless there's something I'm missing here, which there probably is, I don't see why they're librarians.
They're into books. They love books.
It's fine to like books.
They
But-
like to read.
Why are you a librarian? I know Leva Bates hasn't even changed her name.
Sure.
She wrestled as Leva Bates. She's a wrestler.
Yeah.
Why is she now a librarian?
Because librarian Leva Bates might have a ring to it.
It doesn't.
It doesn't, no.
Like
I'm grasping at straws here.
Diva Leva Bates, maybe.
No.
But even that, I don't think so.
Yeah,
I don't know.
I don't know. It's the one match that we didn't predict, so have to
That's true.
point
That was a surprise match. Should we do the thing?
Yeah, go ahead.
I'm very suspicious of Beans' predictions, by
Yeah,
the way.
same here.
Just throwing that out there.
Considering they came in
What?
a day ago.
Do you know what? I was sitting there and I'm thinking, do I even bother doing this? Because they're just going to think that I'm sat here. Watch the bloody thing. I'll put the odd one in wrong if I've managed to be lucky.
I'm just saying they're very suspicious. Let's put it that way.
It is very suspicious. So the opener on the pre-show was the three-way tag match where... explain this to me, Beans. The winners of this three-way tag match advance to All Out for an opportunity at a first-round bye in the tag title tournament. So they win a match here in order to go into another match, which will allow them to skip a match.
Yeah, explain to me how this is not TNA at all.
I never saw this.
How did you not see it? It was part of the show.
It was a pre-show.
Was it?
Oh, is it? Oh, was it the pre? He didn't see the pre-show. That's right. I forgot.
No, I've got to say, first match I remember seeing was Christopher Daniel.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
I had heard about this ridiculous stipulation, and
Only thing missing
yeah,
was the TNA tail of the tape.
yeah. Yeah, I was surprised Taz weren't on commentary and they had to hang a fucking briefcase up at the top of the arena, but you know.
No, they had to hang it up. They had to be one of the teams to hang it up there to win. Yeah.
Oh yeah, you don't even get it. You have to take it up there.
Yeah.
Yeah. So the lucky winners will have to win 2 matches in order to skip 1. I don't understand this, but hey, again, like the librarians, I'm sure it makes sense to someone. But this is one of the complaints I have. These shows haven't been all.
Somebody from TNA is on the booking staff. Like I'm convinced. Like I just flat out. And they need to get rid of them because they're gonna do more harm to this company than help out.
Have you heard Vince Russo's conspiracy that AEW is actually funded by WWE?
I have heard about that.
Yeah.
And like,
Oh god, can you imagine Vince walking out on an AEW show? Oh no.
Oh god damn, pal.
It was me all along.
Yeah.
You stupid bastards.
Yeah. Well. Yeah. So, what do we do? Best Friends won this match. They beat SoCal Uncensored and the Private Party. That means points all round, except for you, Smoot, who thought that SoCal Uncensored would win.
Yeah, I'm just gonna listen to you guys next time. Because I don't think I predicted anybody to win. I'm looking at this.
Well, yeah, we'll get there. Next up was this impromptu match with Ali and Leva Bates, and it was a thing.
It was.
Whatever. Then Michael Nakazawa, he managed to defeat Alex Bailey. This is my first suspicion.
Oh, look who called that. Look at that. Right
yeah, only one of us, and it was the one of us who predicted like 5 days after it actually happened.
Hang on a minute, is this something that still happened on the pre-show?
Yeah, this is the pre-show
I was just
main
going to
event.
say, I don't even remember any of this. I mean, I did just do like random guesses. I'll be honest, the only thing that I knew, I saw something about a botched chair shot.
Yeah, we'll get to that.
And it just said botched chair shot to do with Cody, so I had no idea whether he was on the receiving end of it or if he did it.
We'll get to that.
And then the other one was something where it just said something about Nyla Rose.
Yeah.
But it didn't give a result away. They were just talking about it, and I looked away. So
I think they're just talking about background as opposed to the match. Go ahead. Sorry.
So Alex Bailey is just some guy.
Well, he's the CEO of a video game fighting tournament.
Yeah, whatever.
Yeah.
He's a guy.
his face is all over Twitch. Yeah, I'm with you. He's a guy.
As they said about Machine Gun Kelly, he is not a superstar.
that's for damn sure.
But actually, for a guy who doesn't wrestle, he wasn't that bad.
I will give him that. Yeah, he sold.
Yeah.
Some people are like critical on his selling. I think he was all right with the whole sell job and whatnot. Like, I like the fact that he went to the crowd and got like a fight stick and just clobbered Nakazawa with it. I thought that was kind of clever. And they just shuffled it underneath the ring, which had made a cameo later on night. Yeah, the arcade buttons as well. It's the thumbtacks. Those are pretty. That was pretty clever and cool.
And he hit him with an arcade stick as well at some point, like one of those huge joypads.
Yeah, I just said that.
Oh, he said fight stick. I was thinking for some reason I heard that as kendo stick. Right. I was thinking of an actual stick.
Don't believe him. Yeah, you weren't listening to you.
I just didn't know what a fight stick was. I was thinking of a stick that you fight with, which I guess it is. Wrong thing. Okay.
Yeah, you're not wrong either way.
So anyway, he didn't win.
No.
Even though he threw Nakazawa into the kiddie pool and hooked him with an inflatable something, and
I sound like I've missed a hell of a lot with this pre-show. This was not like a WWE pre-show, was it?
No,
it wasn't.
God, no.
No. I don't think you missed anything that you need to see. But yeah, you did miss some stuff. And Nakazawa won in the end, which I guess was the right move, but I kind of thought...
Also, Cornette called Alex Jabali a dumpy white guy. Which...
Again, he's not
wrong.
He's
not wrong. I couldn't help but laugh at when I heard that. I was like, yeah, he kind of is.
That is exactly what he is. So what was that? A point for Beans. A point for Beans and no one else. Then we get to the main show. Finally, this is what you remember, Beans. Chris Daniels comes out. Shima comes out, not Seema. It's spelt Seema, pronounced Shima. Don't ask me. We all predicted Chris Daniels to win. We thought he's, friends of the company or whatever. And Shima maybe busy doing other stuff. I just
went with the other guy, even though I didn't have a clue who he was, just because I thought, well, Chris Daniels is pretty old, and he's probably going to want to put people over.
Well, he is. He is getting pretty old.
Yeah, I mean, he's up there. He's the fountain of youth right now.
Is he? Is he 48?
Is he 48?
Something like that. Oh. Around there. He doesn't look that old. 49. Sorry, I was wrong. He's 49.
Oh, there you go.
I think it's the bald thing. With no hair, not receding, not going grey. Stay young forever with the bald. That's what I'm going with anyway. But Shima won. Somehow Shima won. Beans another point.
Yeah.
Nothing for the rest of us.
Somehow Beans got that.
Somehow.
Yeah.
Oh, for God's sake.
Oh.
I'm never going to live this down, am I?
Nope.
I really was tempted to just send a message in and say just strike me off because it's been that long.
Wow.
Yeah, I think we might do that. Next up, the three-way. Riho defeated Yuka Sakazaki and Nyla Rose, and actually, I think you got one wrong here, didn't you?
Yes, that's the only one.
Oh my god! My god! You went with Yuka, and she didn't win. This was Riho. I get the point. Yeah, I get the point, and you all suck.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I'm going to be like that. Okay. I need to. I don't have a lot here. Riho won. This was a bit of a showcase for Nyla Rose. She beat the others up quite a lot. Riho and Yuka worked fairly well as a team when they had to. They're clearly better. Hopefully they'll stick around. Anything else I'm missing?
Not really. I mean, other than the fact that I think some people brought up that Nyla Rose's background is that she's a trans professional wrestler or whatever. I don't care. I thought I thought the match was great. I think she should have won against two tiny Japanese wrestlers, but that's just me.
I didn't know that she was transgender.
I had no idea, but yeah, apparently she is.
Yeah.
Well, there you go.
That's cool.
Wiki has her down as the first openly transgender woman. So there may be another that we just don't know about.
It's just closed off, yeah.
Yeah, the one that's just never said anything. Then a four-way. We had my boy MGF just couldn't do it. Couldn't get the job done.
He is awesome.
Yeah.
It's going to be something, right? That's what I was thinking. The others didn't really need it so much, but no. Smoot went for Jimmy Havoc. Was not him. It was not Jungle Boy.
He didn't pull out any fucking hardcore shit. That's
No.
why he lost.
Well, there was two other hardcore matches on the show, so it wasn't really his time. Jungle Boy had his dinosaur with him.
The Luchasaurus.
Yeah.
Which
Adam Page
weird.
wins to give Beans and Will some points.
And I only picked him because obviously he's supposed to be lined up to be champion, so I thought they'd want to keep him strong.
Yeah, I don't know if he's going to be champion, but yeah, he's going into the title match, isn't he? So I should have gone with him too. That was the right thing to do. Still, sucks to be MJF. He needs something.
He does.
Then, here we go. This is when things get interesting. Cody Rhodes and Darby All In.
Allen.
All in.
All in.
They
Allen.
fought a time limit draw. This is something none of us saw coming, obviously. Even when it was coming up the last minute, I was thinking, surely Cody has to win it.
I should have, like, the first match when it was like, I think it might have been Daniels and Shima, where you faintly heard Justin Roberts say that there's 10 minutes of the match left. I think that should have been the tip-off that one of the matches should have been at least a time limit draw. And one of us should have predicted it, I feel.
Well, it's coming up to the end of this one, I thought, that would be kind of cool for Darby Allin. Like, he's in a high-profile match. He's done really well. He looked good in it. It kind of seems like a shame for him to lose. Only he has to lose, obviously.
Yeah.
and then he didn't. So yeah, I was kind of happy with it. It's different.
I was not.
No?
No, I'm not a fan of time limit draws in wrestling. I'm sorry.
I think it's one of them get out of jail free cards, isn't it, for trying to keep people looking strong.
I even called it. I was like, before the match goes to a draw, and the fans are going to be chanting 5 more minutes, 5 more minutes, and that happened. Yeah.
Yeah, of course they are. That's what happens. I thought it was cool to keep Darby Allin somewhat strong. I think it was a good finish. Only now they can't do any matches that go more than 20 minutes. They're stuck with this time limit now. Which might be a good thing.
Or just get rid of it.
Yeah, but that's so TNA.
The next match was 30 minutes.
The next match was more than 20 minutes. Wiki's got it down as 20 minutes 50.
Yeah.
Was that the 6
good
man?
Point. Yeah, the 6 man.
Yeah, because it did say that it was a match with a 30-minute time limit, and I thought, why has that got a 30-minute one and the other one had 20? And I thought, is it just because it's tag? But
yeah, more people you can tag in and out.
More people, more time, or something? I don't know. More time to get you shitting?
Well, definitely did that.
One thing that also that kind of stood out as like a TNA thing was Darby came out with a body bag with Cody 11 spray painted on it, and it made me think of the guy from TNA that shouted at AJ, "Put him in a body bag, AJ!"
I thought you were gonna say when was it Team 3D who wrote Lash Lie on the table?
Oh God, yeah.
Yeah, I thought it was Bully Ray that wrote Lash Lie on the table. That's what it reminded me of. Did he spell Cody right? Yeah, it turns out he did. Cody 1-1. So what else? Darby All In at some point in this match decided to jump off of the turnbuckle backwards and just cracked himself on the corner of the ring.
That was nasty.
For no reason at all. Apparently this is something that he just does. He's that kind of guy.
The backwards trust fall, just...
When you say it's something that he does, you mean is it something that it's like the Ric Flair thing and he never hits it?
Well, he has a bit of a reputation on the indies as being someone who doesn't really care about safety, if you know what I mean. He takes these stupid bumps. So it's not a big surprise to anyone who knows him. But I didn't know him, and this was like... They shot to a load of people in the audience, and everyone seemed to have that same look of, oh, God.
Yeah, like, what the fuck?
That's brutal. Why did you do that?
Yeah, it was quite disturbing.
It was.
And then, this was so fucking cliche. Like, wasn't it Cody that hit like the crossroads or whatever? He hit his move, and then he was trying to cover Darby in time, but he had to make it look like he was about to lose to the clock because
Yeah,
it was so stupid. Get rid of the time limit finishes. Just get rid of time limits.
I think they're just doing it because it's something different than WWE. Yeah. I can understand why they're doing it.
Well, Beans,
and I don't think
going off of that logic, real quick, why don't they just go to a 6-sided ring?
Because that has other connotations to it. As soon as you turn up with a 6-sided ring, everyone leaves.
Fair enough. Good counterpoint.
Apparently, also sucks to work in. Apparently, there's like metal beams that go across that. There's no good place to bump in it.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, not really thought of that.
That's what people hated about that one. They've obviously. It's like when you try and enforce a rule like the 30-day rule, when you don't want to do it. It's kind of there, and everyone knows it, and everyone knows that you're now bullshit.
Yeah.
So, they have to stick with it. And maybe that's okay. Maybe when they get a TV show, and they're stuck, they have to stick to this limit, it might make things to go quicker, and... I don't know. We'll see. I hope they don't scrap it. I don't really like it, but I hope they don't scrap it because that seems so TNA. Like with their X Division weight limits, they do it when they want to, and they don't when they don't.
Yeah.
I think they should just stick it to 30 minutes for singles matches rather than 20 because most matches, even if it's an epic match, is around 20-25 minutes into it. So
right, it's not crazy. 20 minutes.
If it's something where you want it, an epic where you want to try and protect two people, you can go to a 30-minute draw and you think, well, fair enough, and you're probably gonna have another match at that point then to settle it with a different stipulation. So,
all right, if they keep for whatever reason the time limit around, then I would love to see an on-screen clock from 20 minutes going all the way down to 0 if need be. None of this fucking like, oh, there's only 10 seconds left. Let's just throw up a 10-second clock. Fuck that. No, I want like a full 20 on screen. So there's no shenanigans, no chicanery, none of that shit.
You just want to make it difficult for them.
Yeah. No, if you want this stipulation to stick and have some meaning to it, then keep an on-screen clock for everybody to see. From 20 minutes counting down.
Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, you think of other sports, like and rounds and things like that. They're all times, aren't they? And it's all on the screen. So if they want to look and give that, sports presentation look, I don't think it'd be a bad thing if they kept a clock on screen.
Yeah, and most of them don't end in draws either, unless it's like soccer.
Yeah, well, that happens sometimes. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. I think they would complain about that it's pro wrestling, we want to be able to work it a little bit, but yeah, I mean, you're right. I suppose if you're going to do it, what
about if your time limit was 30 minutes, what if the clock only came up when you hit the last 10 minutes?
Nope.
You want it on there all the time for every match.
Yep.
Okay. I don't think they're going to do that.
I don't think they're going to do it either. But that's what they should do if they're going to keep this stupid stipulation around. I don't like it.
Yeah, I'm not huge fan either. But I think in some cases it could be a good thing. Anyway, so Darby Allin broke his back. Cody at the end did a fairly good job of nearly beating him, but not quite. Gave him the crossroads in the body bag. That was a bit wacky.
Yeah.
Then we get to the time
match.
limit draw.
Yeah.
After the match, time limit draw. Everyone's chanting for 5 more minutes. Ty Dillinger shows up.
Sean Spears,
not Gavin Spears anymore. And he cracks Cody Rhodes in the head with a chair. And Cody Rhodes goes down, and he's now bleeding. And his bleach blonde hair is all red, and it looks great. But he looks totally out of it. Like something's gone wrong here. Nothing's explained. Obviously, we can't go to an overtime. That's just it. Cody's taken out.
It was a weird thing because obviously you had MJF run out as well.
Yeah.
And that was kind of like, I'm not sure if you're just doing this for effect to try and make it look serious or whether there is actually a big problem. Because, I don't know, it was just one of the things that when you saw it and you was just like, oh, do I really need to see an unprotected headshot with a chair these days? Do you know what I mean? It was just like, you feel like you're just trying to be a bit too different from everyone else in that regard. Going back to them days.
Kinda. I kind of liked it. I thought, man, I don't like the unprotected. It would be nice if he gets the hand up.
Yeah.
That's what I mean. I was like, if he'd have done the old Triple H, big flap of the hands in front of his head and he took him out, I'd be thinking, well,
Yeah.
But
apparently the chair was gimmick. So it should have been like a softer chair that isn't, as bad to take.
Yeah, except it still cut Cody's head off.
I was just going to say,
I
it
don't know
still
if it was
sliced his head in.
If it was made of one of those, like, the cookie sheets or like the bin lids, not the bread rolls, but like that really flimsy metal. Maybe it was made of that and it bent too much, and I don't know. Apparently something wrapped around and cut him.
If you look at Cody Rhodes' Twitter account, he's actually got a picture which is a freeze frame of it hitting his head, and it's not the bit that probably was protected for him to take.
Yeah,
it was the support bit at the back that kind of came down on the top of his head, and that's why it cut him, because he was obviously swinging it in the process of swinging it down, if you know what I mean. The top bit, the top of his head moving down, so that looks like the bit that obviously created the gash on his head.
It'll show up on stream eventually, but yeah.
There you go. But if you look on, I don't know, some fan got a shot from the crowd, but it's from the other angle, and it looks ridiculous. It's just like...
there's no excuse to not get a hand up. Like, Cody, I mean, we can't play the
He's
video.
purposely kept his hands down. I mean, crikey.
Yeah.
It wasn't like a missed time or anything.
No, he knew.
Yeah.
That was the plan.
Yeah. And Tony Khan had like a press conference after the show, and he said he had some lousy excuse saying that you can make like the safest airplane in the world, but you can't have like the safest pilot or something like that. That's not what he said.
That was not a perfect 10 swing.
Yeah, that's not exactly what the quote was, but you kind of get the drift. But there's no excuse for unprotected chair shots to the head in 2019. I'm sorry. Like, if anything, that makes your company, your startup company, look like it's a laughingstock. Like, it looks like, it's like one step off of like one of these backyard shows,
I think it's one of those things where it has to be a balance, because like you said, Chucks, it's like one of them things where you think, oh, that's quite cool. We haven't seen that for a long time. But then also you feel quite bad about it because you think there's a reason why they don't do this anymore. Like,
the one time you do it, you actually get unintentional blood.
I was just going to say, you
that's
actually smash his head open. Yeah. Oh, God.
Oh, there he goes. Now he's going to kill his family.
But then, I think it's kind of, well, I don't know. Depends what Cody thinks, I guess. But I'd say it's kind of worth it to have a feeling like this is something that can happen in AEW. It probably won't happen a lot,
Well,
yeah, I think
I really hate the jab to the stomach and then the chair across the back, especially in heated feuds.
That
it looks so crap.
Yeah.
And I don't want to be one of these guys. Like I really hated JR's commentary as well. Him saying like, why do we still have these folding chairs in pro wrestling? Because everyone sat on them. Like we're in an arena full of them. He was trying to make out like, why do we still do this?
He was scrambling because he also made like some sort of CTE comment as well. I was like, are you serious? Yeah. Like, what the fuck?
Yeah, the kind of phony outrage I'm not a big fan of.
Yeah. Also, Tony Khan said that, like, you know, this type of stuff is not going to make it onto TNT and whatnot, which I don't know if I believe. I don't know if I fully believe that. I think if maybe things get a little bit desperate, they might pull out some of the hardcore stuff to up the ratings, if you will.
I don't know. Again, if that means we're going to save this kind of stuff for pay-per-views, then that's great.
Yeah.
Yeah, and to be fair, I mean, that's what you think, like with WWE back in the day, it was like you had the rare occasion where it had happened on pay-per-view and you'd see blood on pay-per-view, that kind of thing. Obviously, as the Attitude Era got more and more intense, then, you know, it was pretty much every night. And I think that's the thing that we don't want to reach the point when you're thinking these guys could take unprotected chair shots, you know, weekly.
Yeah,
it as a one-off thing. Like Cody should not be wrestling any matches anytime soon, you know, in the immediate future. And if it was, you know, he shouldn't be taking any shots like that in the next 6 months. You know what I mean? Like you've got to balance it with, if you are going to do it, then you've got to ensure that it isn't something that someone goes through in any kind of regularity or anything like that.
Yeah, and like, you know, I joked about it like a moment ago, but like the fact that, you know, to me it kind of it spits in the face of the whole aftermath of the Benoit tragedy, after knowing that he had like concussions and suffered through like depression supposedly, and all this stuff, you know, that was diagnosed afterwards with the CTE and such. I mean, it's really in poor taste. I get that Cody's like an old school guy, and he probably okayed that spot and whatnot personally, but like, I don't know. It comes off the wrong way, and this is their second show as well. You know, I don't need to see somebody from the Rhodes family being in like a bloody mess to, you know, get me to cheer. You know, like it's just I don't know. The spot itself was just really dumb. Like, he should have gotten an arm up. I don't care. That's just my feelings on it. I'm sorry.
No?
Yeah, I'm definitely down with the arm up. I would hate for them to ban this. I really don't want them to ban anything.
Yeah.
Have whoever, Tony Khan or Cody, or, you know, whoever's running things, kind of say, just make it mean something when you do it. Don't come off of the Hell in a Cell all the time.
Right.
You know, don't do the chair shots don't do blood all the time. Just like make it matter when you do it.
And honestly, it kind of took away from the match because everybody was talking about the chair shot itself and not how Darby Allin came off the top rope back first.
Well, yeah. Or how he actually...
Cody's got a cut on his head. This guy sat on the outside with a broken spine.
Exactly, yeah. You know,
or even how good he was in the match, or the fact that Cody is one of the top guys in the company, and Allin took him to a time limit draw.
Right.
So he should be a fairly big deal now.
Like,
and you're right, he's been up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They also had a cleaning crew trying to get that blood stain out of the canvas, and they couldn't do it.
Yeah, I guess they didn't have a spare canvas. They were expecting it in the Gold Dust one, but not this one.
Interesting.
That's quite poor, because normally you do it just as a standard thing anyway, don't you?
I have a second canvas. Yeah, I would have thought.
But the only thing is, though, what I would say is, I mean, when it happened, and when you first saw the blood, it was obviously, I mean, his head was in the same position constantly, and he was obviously, the cut was right where his head was making contact with the mat. So I don't know even if it's a case of, even if they had something they could rip up, could it have soaked through because it was that concentrated on one area for a period of time where he weren't moving?
Yeah.
If it could, it would have with Dustin too, I think, because he had the similar thing where it's just pouring.
It's also a shot of Dean Malenko, by the way.
Oh, Dean Malenko there.
Oh yeah.
I did however,
the Dustin one was quite.
That was brutal. Yeah, and I think maybe Smoot's right that in the first 2 shows they've done this kind of thing, and you imagine that's for a reason. You want to kickstart and say, "Hey, stuff happens here. We're not safe," and
it kind of puts out that kind of messaging in a way.
Yeah, which I kind of like. Maybe for all the wrong reasons, but I do kind of like it.
Well, considering you're complaining about burkas and goddamn Mortal Kombat earlier.
Hey, look, it's not the burqa itself that I have a problem with. If you want to wear a burqa, you wear a burqa. I'm just saying, 2 games ago, you were in a bikini.
Oh my god.
Maybe there's global warming. Maybe where she is, it's
really
a lot cooler these days.
When they're fighting in hell or whatever.
Yeah, the shadow realm might start freezing over. You don't know.
Oh man.
They never bring that up in the climate change debates, do they?
That's
true. What's the status in the shadow realm?
Yeah.
What
would somebody think of the Nether?
There is a note of Mortal Kombat I want to bring up and not on the show. So try to remind me after we're talking
Okay, that was a bit bizarre. I'm not quite sure.
This private thing we have to talk about after the show. Last positive on the Cody thing is they have been doing a great job of setting up matches for the future. On both of these shows.
Yeah.
They've done a really good job of things happening.
Cliffhangers.
Maybe it's not even on the next.
next.
Yeah, or maybe like 2 in the future or at some point, because we already know, let's bring it up here, Fight for the Fallen is when Cody and Dustin Rhodes are having that tag match against the Young Bucks.
Right.
So in the first show, we set up this match for the 3rd show, and on the 2nd show, Cody now has something. I don't know when, if it's going to be All Out or what, but he's got something to do with Ty Dillinger now.
Yeah.
They've done a similar thing with Jon Moxley. So he started off something, it looked like maybe with Chris Jericho, and then it's going to be Kenny Omega, but then he had a match with Joey Janela instead, and now he's got 2 things to do some other time. Like, everyone has something to do. Something to look forward to. So I think they're doing a good job with that. We, however, are doing a terrible job because that was a draw, and we all predicted Cody, so no points.
He would have won if there was 1 more second.
He would have, but that unfortunately doesn't count.
Yeah.
She did. Then we have a 30-minute time limit on the 6-man tag match.
Oh my god.
The Elite, the Young Bucks and Kenny, beat the Lucha Brothers and Laredo Kid. And this was points all round. We made up for it. We all went for the Elite.
Holy cow, I got 1.
Yeah! The one.
You're joking? That's your first point?
Yes. First point. Not joking.
Holy shit.
Yeah, well, look, some of us didn't cheat, all right?
Whoa! Whoa!
Oh my god. He went there.
Do you know what? I don't even know the result of the main event yet, and you've going on about me being a cheat.
I thought the main event was the most predictable one, but I guess we'll get to that.
I thought it was too in my mind.
Yeah.
Oh god.
So this was, I don't know, a 6-man tag of a lot of action. I don't know if anyone has any kind of takeaway from it. I can barely remember anything that happened, if I'm honest. They all came out in the Street Fighter gear.
Yeah.
No burkas.
God. No burkas, correct. We're gonna be put on a list after the show. I swear to God.
Correction. Chucks is.
Chucks is, yeah.
I'll take it. What the hell? I'll be demonetized.
Yeah. Anyway. The 6-man. Yeah, it was a match that happened, I feel. Didn't really have a rhyme or reason to it. It's just for the Elite to show off the Street Fighter garb, if you ask me. So, cool.
Yeah, that's pretty much it.
And then main event, where the lights went out and the show was over. That was it.
Oh yeah, that was the main event.
Yeah.
That was the main event.
Oh.
Lights went out. They came back on. We now have a lights out match. This was not part of the show.
Explain to me how an unsanctioned match, if you're not going to have your name plastered all over this, then why do you have a referee counting the deciding fall, and why are you going to have the competitors come out to their entrance musics? That AEW
And also,
produced?
last I saw of it, because I saw the entrances, I thought when they were saying a lights out match and all this lot,
Yeah.
I was sitting there thinking it literally was just going to be a spotlight in the ring, and they were just going to get the shit out of each other.
I'd be okay with that, yeah.
But I also noticed that the AEW logo was still very much on all the screens at the entranceway whilst they were coming out, and I'm thinking, well, you're still advertising yourself in this.
Yeah. This is their one opportunity to be different. This was another blown opportunity, if you ask me, to be different and actually have a go all the way situation for the unsanctioned match. So
I don't know. There's always been a referee in non-sanctioned matches.
That's the problem.
JR always says he's only there to count the pinfall.
Well, that's for any match. Count the pinfall, the count out, the DQ.
Yeah, and to
he's only there to do his job.
No, but
got a family.
He's got a family.
But his job in normal matches, there's a lot more for him to do. There's a lot more rules for him to enforce. Right? Whereas this one, there's no rules. He's just there to hit the mat on a count. He's not gonna try and break them up on a rope break or
he's still
count
a
to five.
sanctioned referee for an unsanctioned match. They should have
He's not sanctioned. He's just there.
They should just have a third party. Have a third party referee that's not all Elite branded.
Well, maybe he was subcontracted out to an AEW official, but he was working on a self-employed basis.
Oh.
He was just a guy.
Maybe.
A guy who was there.
He sent an invoice in afterwards.
I like Beans' explanation there. I'm just glad it wasn't Earl Hebner.
Yeah, because he would have give the fingers to everyone and attacked some of the wrestlers and wore a Screw Brett shirt. And
damn right I did. Non-sanctioned. So I don't know whether to keep this in my records. I've been keeping AEW records.
Well, they didn't, supposedly.
No?
You've been keeping AEW records?
Yeah, I want to keep a record of who wins and who loses.
Beans,
I've even got them split up.
This could be a good idea in case, they fudge the numbers on the TV product. That's actually a good idea.
Yeah, I figured, we're in at the ground floor here. There's not a lot to keep track of just yet. So I'm going to see how long I can go before I get really bored.
I was just going to say, this time next year, you're going to sit there going, why am I doing this?
Yeah.
Oh, no, I was halfway through. Because there was 21 guys who were all on... 20 guys on 0-1 records now because of that Battle Royal in the first show.
Oh, my God.
The first match they ever did.
Oh, my God.
So there's a lot of guys now who have bad records.
AEW by the numbers. 1, the number of unprotected chair shots to the head.
Yeah.
Yeah. 29, the number of guys that are currently 0-1 in AEW from that Battle Royal. 0, the number of legs that guy had. Sorry.
He had 0 legs.
Anyway.
So I don't know. John Moxley won this one. I don't know whether to count this on my records or not. He is now 1-0, but maybe not.
Put an asterisk beside it and just put a little note of unsanctioned.
Yeah, I did. It's in brackets here.
Good,
1-0. John Moxley includes 1 unsanctioned win, and the same for Joe Janela. He's 0-2 right now.
So
what was the match like? Because obviously I've not seen this one yet.
Well, first off, we got to point this out with the barbed wire chair, the steel chair wrapped in barbed wire, which had a bloody napkin wrapped around it from the Cody spot earlier in the match, and they just shoved it underneath the ring. which I was not a fan of. There's
Oh.
also, well, we'll get to that there. There's the fight stick, by the way, from earlier in the night. And then this made me think of TNA with like Abyss matches, the hardcore ball match or whatever that Abyss would always do in TNA in front of like 80 people, where you pull out the barbed wire board, and then there's the side-by-side comparison. There you go. There's also fireworks going off because of the it's like the 6th of July, so sorry if you hear that in the background. But yeah. Tell me that this isn't TNA, just with a bigger budget.
Yeah.
There's
There's definitely parallels.
Yeah. Yeah, there's the comparison's there.
But they don't have the same guys running it that TNA did.
I don't know about that. I don't know about that.
You think Dixie Carter's there?
I don't think it's Dixie Carter that's there. Supposedly Keith Mitchell is like the production guy. In the truck, and he also did the stuff for TNA back in the day as well. So I'm like, that explains the replays and how they look like a goddamn TNA compilation of here's what happened in the match.
Yeah, and they weren't always great on their cameras either. But,
yeah.
But that wasn't TNA's main problem.
No, not at all.
No.
It was a problem, but not the main problem.
Exactly. So for now, I'll take it. They did have a lot of problems. So that was it. That was the match. It was hardcore, but not like crazy hardcore. There was a fair amount of barbed wire in there, but no one got too badly cut up. There was a thumbtack spot at the end there, with the feet in the things.
Yeah, it looked like Moxley was going to tickle him at first. Tickle his feet to death.
Took his boots and socks off.
Yeah.
And then gave him, was it like an atomic drop or something on the?
Yeah, something like that. Yeah.
Something like that. Just kind of stood him onto the things.
I also made this comparison to TNA where they just do the thumbtack. They overkilled the fucking thumbtack spot on television.
Yeah, Abyss did.
If you ask me. Yeah, there you go. He got like a few of them in his foot there, as you can see. I will say Janela has some pretty good facial expressions from the first show with the cigarette like super glued to his forehead, and now this. So that's one positive thing I can say about him.
Yeah,
that's about it. But yeah, that was about it. And then after the match, Moxley got the win, right?
He did. Yeah.
So points go all around except for me because I predicted a Jericho spot that never happened.
Yeah, no Jericho. Jericho on the show at all.
Which for the third show, I'm just gonna predict it like a goddamn TNA pay-per-view, and there you go. I'll be in like first place after it.
Well, you don't have long to wait.
No.
That is coming up next week.
God, I was what 1 out of 9 here? 1 out of 8?
Yeah, 1 out of 8
Jesus.
here. So. The final scores, 1 out of 8 for you, Smoot. That was pretty bad, has to be said.
Yeah.
Smoot, you need to wait until 5 days after it's happened.
Yeah. Apparently that's fine. We'll allow that. Me and Will both on 4 out of 8, and Bean's got a suspicious 6 out of 8. I actually thought it was 7. I had one of his answers wrong. But 6 out of 8, okay. I'll trust. Maybe he just had a good day. Maybe.
Believe me, I'm on the same. Like Smoot said, it's like TNA because you remember what I was like with the TNA prediction.
I do. That was suspicious too.
I never watched a damn thing.
Yeah.
Exactly, but you've got sources. I know you've got sources.
Yeah, they work for the other company though.
Yeah.
Yeah, but they might run this.
What if he's actually booking? Oh, no, that wouldn't. No, because everything on the show made sense somewhat.
What, and you think the Beans wouldn't make sense if he was writing it?
I don't know. I don't
Where do you think I've been for the last 5 months? This has took a lot of planning.
Anyway.
Chair shot to the head. Such good shit.
Yeah. So is my math right? Is Will currently in the lead somehow?
That is right. So we've predicted across the two shows 17 matches. Smoot, you are way out behind, unfortunately, with 4. A gentleman's 4. I've managed 8. Beans zooms up to 10 here with his huge win today. But Will, thanks to his very suspicious 7 out of 9 on the last show, 4 out of 8 here, he is now on 11 out of 17.
Yeah, but Will was with us when he was predicting the picks on the last show, on the previous one.
He was, but he may also have sources. Who knows?
Now it just sounds like a conspiracy theory.
Sounds like desperation to me, guys.
Bro, I swear to God.
Bro, I swear to God.
You're telling me that there's no connection here between WWE and AEW and Will? Come on.
No,
you expect me to believe that?
Oh, also at the end of that unsanctioned match, Kenny Omega attacked Moxley for some reason. Or whatever.
Yeah, they don't like each other.
Yeah, and they wrecked the band set up there on the stage or whatever, I guess.
Yeah, there was some stuff set up for Blink 182.
Yep. And Moxley had a grin on his face afterwards, and then JR got cut off by Bleacher Report Live, and that's how the show ended. So, there you go.
It's a good show.
Yeah, it was pretty good.
It's a good show, not without its faults, but it's, I'm
definitely
still hopeful for this.
Yeah, definitely without its faults. Quickly for the week, let's get into Raw and SmackDown.
Okay, we didn't talk actually as much as we thought we would about Heyman and Bischoff last week.
Yeah, they're now
kind of said we
directors.
would, and then we didn't really.
Did we not really?
Well, we didn't really get into it. We mentioned it was happening, but we didn't really go into details. Beans, what do you think about these two 20-year-old veterans? I say 20-year-old; they're actually in their 50s, right? But
yeah.
They were very successful 20 years ago, and now they're back.
I saw the headlines, but I also saw it come from WWE, and it was one of them things where I thought, is it just a bit of a thing that they're just doing to try and make people think that there's a change? I don't know how much control they actually have.
I mean, at the end of the day, you still got to answer to Vince.
But Vince does seem to know that there's a problem now.
Oh yeah, yeah. It's called the ratings and attendance being at an all-time low.
Yeah,
I heard that Stomping Grounds had about 8,000 in attendance.
Yeah, the entire hard cam section was cordoned off. You couldn't sit there or whatever. It was all tarped and whatnot. And the pre-show had a screen that was blocking all the empty seats.
It was actually less than that. It was about 6,000 and only about 4,500 paid.
Jesus.
Yeah.
And
I can't remember that ever happening with a pay-per-view though.
The ones who were there seemed into it.
Yeah, I mean,
it was actually a good noise, but
they were lucky that it was a lively crowd, because I didn't even pick up on it because. I mean, I watched it the day afterwards, but I didn't watch the pre-show, so I just watched it and thought it was like any other show. I never even thought anything of it. They did well with camera angles.
Yeah, it wasn't like Bound for Glory with all those empty goddamn seats that you could.
It wasn't like Bound for Glory where they was in fucking Japan and all the matches had already happened 6 weeks ago in the future. I don't know what that was all about.
Oh yeah, I forgot about the time delay on that one. I knew it was a bad show, but yeah.
I just remember that's the last Bound for Glory I watched, and I remember me mate, he just moved into a new home, and he said, "Do you want to come round and we'll watch Bound for Glory?" And you thought, you know what? Yeah, go on. And we'll put it on, and I'm like, what the fuck is happening? What is going on? But anyway, I digress.
That was 2014, nearly 5
Jesus.
years ago. Yeah.
There's the shot. Yeah, that was the one Bound for Glory that one year, 2013 here. And it's not it's getting close to being this bleak for WWE, I feel, but I think they still got like a little bit of a long way to go before they hit that kind of a low, you know? They have to like scramble for a new network because reasons, you know?
It's crazy to think that they've never been richer. Do you know what I mean? It's like the business has never been so good for them, yet product has never been so
lousy,
bland.
Yeah.
I don't even think it's rubbish. I just think it's very bland. It's just you don't watch a show and say that the wrestling's poor. You don't look at the roster and say that they're missing talent. They literally just don't have a creative bone in the body.
Well, that's it. There are no storylines, and there haven't been for a long time. It's a show where things happen, and then on the next show, maybe the same things happen again, or maybe some different things happen. And there's not really any... Like, I've said before that if I was to write a show, I would think, here's a guy, Braun Strowman or whatever, what would he do? Whatever happened last week, what's his reaction to it? What does he do? And then I would kind of write the next part based on the last part. But they don't do that. They have, this is the character, he's like this. He shows up and, I don't know, tells someone he's going to get these hands. And then he does that again the next week. And then he does that again the next week.
Yeah.
And then the next week, he does it again.
Well, more recently, it was like, 2-3 weeks ago, Strowman and Lashley had like that tug of war. And Lashley threw powder in Strowman's eye and he couldn't see. And Lashley... That was
the arm wrestle.
Yeah.
And then with the tug of war, he raked the rope across the eyes.
Right.
No damage. No damage there at all.
Oh, this week.
I mean, like you said though, with the AEW stuff, like they're preparing 2 to 3 pay-per-views ahead in all the stuff that they're doing.
Yeah.
And things end with a cliffhanger. Like you watch it thinking, "Oh, I need to see the next bit because obviously there's a follow-up to this," and it makes sense. It's like the thing with Ty Dillinger, Sean Spears, like the chair shot, with Cody. There's another route they're going down there, but it's not been explored.
Right.
Whereas with Raw, or SmackDown, it's just like everything's merged into one. The brand thing has gone completely out the window. This wild card thing is absolutely ridiculous.
Yeah.
They're poking they're even poking fun at themselves with it. And then all this thing about commercials and 2 out of 3 falls matches happening everywhere. And it's just like the whole thing is just meh.
Yeah.
I can watch the entire thing on fast forward, and just from the little split seconds of things that I see, I know exactly what's happened.
Yeah.
And
go ahead.
And then we get desperate, so let's bring the Undertaker.
That's exactly it. The ratings are going down, so what do? We bring back Undertaker. I guess Triple H he knows enough to know not to get involved with this product. Let Shane be the authority right now. I don't need to be involved here. I don't want to be associated with the lowest ratings ever. But generally they go to bring the Undertaker back, put Vince back on TV. We'll see when that happens. That could happen. There's certain things that they always go to try and save ratings. It's never... actually, recently it's call up some guys from NXT.
Which happened
as if
this
that's
week.
going to do anything. Yeah. Like that's good long term. Have some fresh faces. That's great. But it doesn't mean anything right now. But that's the same things they always go to. They don't think, let's change how the show looks. Let's try.
Basically, they've got too much TV time, and they just basically have to follow a set formula. They've got too much to do.
Yeah, I do agree that it's a bit too formulaic.
But everything they do, we've said this before as well, that everything they do has to be done a certain way. If you have something to say, there's words that you need to use to say it. If you're going to do like a backstage interview, it's always in that area with the screen in the background, and then someone robotically asks you a question, and then whoever you're feuding with will walk up behind you and you all face the same way. And There's nothing ever happens in a different place or kind of in a less scripted way. Even if you're in catering, everything looks the same as it did last time you were in catering.
Yeah,
Every time you go
it could
to
be in the
GM
same arena every week, and you just keep telling us you're in different cities.
Exactly,
you know what I mean?
right.
It's
exactly. Every time you see an authority, a GM in their office, they're on the phone. They're always on the phone, and they say, "I'll call you back." Every time. Why are they always on the phone?
Kurt Angle was the worst for that one.
Yeah,
Kurt Angle, Brian, when he was GM, was always on the phone as well.
Couldn't you have?
Yeah, no, you're right.
Like when AJ was meeting up with the club, couldn't you have done that out, like in a bar or something? Couldn't you have done that just somewhere else that makes them feel like they're actual people?
But Ricochet wouldn't have been at the bar.
Well, he probably wouldn't because he's a geek. He plays video games, right? He's just a total nerd. But like, couldn't he be somewhere else? Couldn't he be in the gym or like, I don't know, just doing something that Ricochet would do? Couldn't he be playing video games backstage? Like that would be something. He's just standing around. Can't each of these people act like they would act?
You know what they need to do this week? You need to have Ricochet playing video games in the back, but he needs to be playing Street Fighter.
Oh no.
Yeah.
He needs to be.
He'd be kicking the shit out of Akira on it.
I was gonna say he needs to beat somebody up that's wearing a burqa, but I stopped myself.
You just stop yourself.
Just said it. I know, just to bring it full circle. But
but you know what? WWE will blur the screen because the game's not PG.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's too PG now. I was thinking he should be playing as Ken and Ryu and saying, just look at these guys. They don't look like stars. Who would actually wear this stuff?
Look, they're just the same. One's wearing white, one's wearing red.
Yeah.
Losers.
Who would ever pay to see these guys?
Oh. Anyway, Raw this week kind of started off with like a banger. I was a little bit late, so I was like 5-8 minutes late or so because I had to take care of something and then get set up and whatnot. I think I had to get dinner or whatever it was. Strowman and Lashley had a false count anywhere match where the match ended in a no contest because Strowman speared Lashley through the video wall, the LED video wall behind, underneath the Titantron basically, and behind it was the epicenter of all the power to the Titantron, supposedly. Sparklers, I guess.
Yeah, I guess they stored all of the pyro that they never use anymore.
And it was a cool spot, and it had this like weird camera angle for like.
That was cool.
Yeah.
That was different, which I liked.
Yeah.
And even though it was a little bit cringeworthy when Corey shouted,
"Holy shit!"
shit! I thought, well,
the delay on it.
Yeah, and also the fucking cameraman that was right next to it when it happened, and he had to shake like fuck.
Yeah.
And then the other cameraman come running up the ramp, and you can see him on the floor shaking the camera like a moron. It's just like, why couldn't he? If they're obsessed with trying to make it look like it's all going, exploding, why didn't he just jump backwards, like fall backwards so you could see his feet? Like as if he was blown back kind of thing, and just having filming that, not have to fucking sit there like he's, the stage is punching Strowman in the face 10 times over.
Yeah, he's just so excited he couldn't keep still.
Oh, Jesus Christ! He looked like a 3-year-old driving a car with hands on wheels. No, like when if you put a 3-year-old on your lap in a car and they just grab hold of the wheel and just start shaking it, you know what I mean? He just looked like that with the camera in his hand. It was just like, come on.
If I was to put a 3-year-old on my lap in the car, I think I'll be pulled over pretty soon. And asked, "Sir, where did you get that child?" I don't have a 3-year-old.
Yeah, so they posted like another angle.
Oh God, I just saw that
on Instagram. Yeah.
Oh, for fuck's sake! That's like the GoPro inside the fucking car kind of thing.
Yeah, you can kind of sort of see the crash pad that Strowman lands on, and that's like next to Lashley and whatnot.
And also all the pyro going off about 10 feet away from him.
Yeah, I love how everybody in the comments are like if you agree they should have posted this. How the cameraman knew they come through the wall? Please remove Renee Young from the commentary desk. Wow. Oh.
Yeah, it annoys me when they do stuff like that.
But yeah, I didn't mind the stationary camera angle where it was like, you know, they were pointing down backstage and whatnot. It kind of gave you like a sense of like, okay, they had to like turn off the power and whatnot so that they get everything situated and cleaned up.
I like the fact as well that they went to break and came back and it was the same camera angle.
Yeah, yeah.
It was kind of like how it would be if it was a legit thing.
Yeah.
But another bit that annoyed me is initially when the next, I think it was the Heavy Machinery or something came out and
the Viking Raiders.
Viking Raiders, yeah. They didn't have the screens, and then literally the next entrance
New Day
did, and it's like, oh, for God's sake, you could have just kept it all black for at least an hour or something.
Yeah, make the Raw third hour dark again.
Ha.
Yeah, no, I'm with Beans. I'm with Beans because it was very jarring to see, like I said, the Viking Warriors coming out with pitch black, essentially.
Yeah.
Back in the old days, and bright and colorful New Day having.
Or even if they just had it where the top screen worked, because obviously that wasn't affected, but the ramp bit where it went through and the side would just stay black.
Yeah. Instead, it just looked like it was a gaping hole. And, like everybody's like logos and whatnot were obstructed by it. Yeah. So I
did
agree.
get the feel, because is this the first show that Heyman's took control of?
Yeah.
You kind of got the feeling that straight away it was just like, you know, you remember back in the old days when they threw him off a stage in a dumpster, then, you know, the whole show stopped for an hour. Let's do that at the beginning because it's something different. And it just felt, it was one of them where you kind of appreciated, you felt, well, at least this is a little bit different. I mean, it's not great, but, you know, it's first week of him being in charge if he is, and, you know, it's one of them.
But the rest also have to do something.
Yeah. Also, they cut to a camera guy that was like rushing to pick up his camera and then rushing to the spot, which I don't know if that was intended or not. And then before that, like I think before even the match started, like they accidentally cut to the Street Profits backstage for like a split second from what looked like a pre-taped, and they aired like the wrong thing or something at the.
Yeah, they just kind of got the wrong camera or something. I don't know. Yeah. I saw that. That was a bit of a spoiler for them later on.
Yeah.
It was a cool spot, like say the explosive and whatever. It kind of got this show off to, like, we all went into it expecting something new, and they gave us that. So that was cool. I don't know if I really care about the guys enough to care about the spot. I think it was a bit too flashy for a feud that I just don't care about. It seems, you know, whatever. But they're doing it, so, you know, I'll take that. If they're gonna have this kickstart new era,
that was another thing.
Not kickstart, not Mountain Dew kickstart.
Yeah.
If they're gonna do a new era, I'm happy that they're actually going all out with it instead of, you know, back at Christmas when they said, we're gonna shake things up and you are the authority now, and actually it took like a month before they did anything.
Oh, yeah.
At least they're doing it, so I'm not going to complain too much that, you know, Strowman and Lashley are really boring.
They also had Cole, like, say something about, like, you know, our superstars are trained and whatnot. It was basically in that type of principle and whatnot, and sometimes things go wrong and go bad and whatnot. And we have to practice safety here. It seemed like they were trying to... Some people interpreted that as, like, a knock towards AEW.
Yeah.
Which maybe
there was quite a few things in it, but I mean, like what Corey was saying, things like he'd never seen anything like it before and all this lot, and it was just like,
really,
come on, we've watched Big Show throw fucking John Cena into a plastic light bulb,
a 50,000 watt light.
And fucking Shane McMahon's like fallen off fucking the Hell in a Cell about 15 times in the last 2 years. You know what I mean?
Angle threw him through that glass. We've seen Rhino goring Chris Jericho through the set. They do this stuff. Not often, but they do it.
Yeah, it annoys you when they have lines like that. It's like don't insult your viewers' intelligence
Yeah,
constantly.
it kind of took away from it a little bit.
Yeah, it's just like I appreciated the holy shit thing because I thought, well, that's how someone would react if
Well, even that,
the set fucking blew up in front of you. You know what I mean?
you might say it, but you would say it when it happens. You wouldn't wait and then say it.
Yeah.
Right.
It was very kind of. Has everyone stopped talking? Is it quiet? Okay, cue.
He's probably said on the side, like he's saying, "Are you sure I'm allowed to say this? Are you sure? Are you sure?"
I'm
Okay,
just
now
gonna
I'll
double
say-
check, Vince. Are you sure?
Yeah, I just don't want to get fired.
Yeah,
He
it's
says
weird how
oh
he said-
shit, and then
Yeah.
next minute you can hear Vince in his ear going absolutely fucking insane.
Weird how he said it in the 8 o'clock hour, but in like the 10 o'clock hour
Yeah.
he said "holy crap" or whatever later. I was like, really? Really?
He wasn't as surprised.
Yeah. Also, supposedly it was Strowman with a, at first, ruptured spleen, which somehow turned into a separated pelvis.
How do you separate your pelvis?
I don't know.
Separate it from what?
What did he land on?
A firework,
A box of pyro, yeah.
Yeah, clearly.
a 50,000 watt box.
And also, Lashley was, like, unscathed from it. So, like, if anything, it made Strowman look like a complete buffoon because he damaged himself and didn't really damage Lashley at all.
Just
It's
like
all
the
right.
Miz at WrestleMania.
He'll be back next week, Strowman, and they'll show him training, and he'll be pulling a truck again with a tug rope, and fucking it'll
Oh
roll
my God.
over him.
Yeah. We get it. He's really strong, you guys. We
He's
get it.
stupid. He just pulled the truck over himself.
That might be the new direction he goes in. I don't know.
Yeah, he'll become the clumsy Sean Stasiak. He's gonna run into things like he did them fucking shitty boxes when he had that rivalry with fucking
God.
ambulance door.
The ambulance. Yeah. Oh my God! Don't remind me. Every time he gets close to like being in the main event scene, they just have him do something that's really stupid, like run into an ambulance door or somehow hurt yourself going through the Titantron. Like,
Do you know when he first came on and like there was the rumors that it was going to be Brock and Braun at WrestleMania that time when he
Yeah.
first came on, and everyone was like, "How the fuck can this happen? That is not a WrestleMania match." And then you give them 6 months, and you were begging for that match
yeah,
because they'd done that
They did
well
so
with him
well.
at the beginning. And you think, how long's he been on the roster now as this character? Like 3 years. He's not got anywhere near a title. He's done absolutely nothing.
Yeah.
And they've at every point they're worried about him looking weak. That ultimately they make him look stupid.
Yeah.
yeah. I'm with you. After that, again, the Viking Raiders and New Day had a match, which got interrupted, and had Samoa Joe join the Viking Raiders and defeated the New Day in a tag match. Then Undertaker came out and confronted Shane McMahon and Drew McIntyre.
Forgot to do a promo.
Yeah.
Honestly, I was listening to that promo and I'm thinking, is he all right? Because he looks like he's forgetting what he's supposed to say. Did anyone check on him after this Goldberg match?
I was cooking dinner and Mom had the show on the TV out in the living room, and she doesn't watch wrestling much, and she thought that McIntyre had a fake Scottish accent. She's like, well, whatever. She thought it was English at first. I was like, no, it's Scottish. And she's like, well, whatever it is, he needs to drop it because it sounds fake as fuck.
Love it.
All right, well.
Oh, your mum needs to be a guest on this show.
Oh God, no.
Now, Roddy Piper, that's a real Scottish accent.
Right. Yeah, but what do they like? Do we really need to see Undertaker and Shane McMahon in a match? Like, is this really how desperate?
Well, the
WWE
thing is why is he in it?
yeah, it just out of
What's
nowhere.
his purpose? I thought the promo was going to give some explanation, and he just fucking kept going on about taking souls. It's like,
Yeah.
this is not 1993.
If anything, I thought maybe he had like something about like he could team up with Roman Reigns and it could be our yard sort of thing, that sort of angle, right?
How are you?
This is our yard now, brother. I don't know why Undertaker would say brother, but there you go.
I was just going to say, is Hogan joining them as well?
Yeah, maybe. I thought that's what they were going for. Like, it was a bit of a stretch, but like, you know, the yard of destruction against like Shane McMahon and Drew McIntyre. But no, you're right. He didn't even say anything in the promo about why he's going after Shane McMahon, other than he's just gonna take souls, digging holes and taking souls.
I understand one aspect of the obvious. I mean, he's probably in the best shape he's looked in the last 2 or 3 years.
Yeah.
And I can understand if he's that frustrated with what happened in Saudi Arabia with Goldberg that he just wants to kind of prove that he can still have some semblance of a basic match and not land on his head. Or drop someone else on their head.
God.
Or they're offering him loads of money and he wants to retire, but they keep giving him too much damn money. Can't stay away.
Well, there's this thing as well that seems to be going on internet now that WWE tweeted a picture of Sting and Undertaker, didn't they?
Oh, do they?
Yeah, Sting in the 90s with a super.
5 years too late.
Yeah, but it looks like this is probably going to be happening in Saudi Arabia in bloody October or November or whatever. And it's like, hang on a minute. So the guy landed on his head and could have died, and Sting could be paralyzed if he has a match. And you're going to put them in the ring.
He says this is on Twitter, right?
Yeah, WWE's Twitter account. It says something like maybe or something like that, and it has a picture of them both.
There's no way that match is happening. Like there was there was a time and place for it, and now is not the time and place for it. Sorry.
I won't be so sure.
I'm looking for it right now. Sorry. Again, it should have had it. Oh, here we go. Yeah, here it is. Here it is. Here it is. Just found it. There we are. Imagine. Yeah.
Imagine.
Yeah, this match is where it's going to happen in your imagination. There's no way. I mean, granted, that photo looks really well done for a Photoshop. Not going to lie. Even with this referee's leg doing whatever it is that. Man, it looks so natural, whatever he's doing there. But, yeah, that's a WCW photo for sure. You can, from the logo and the refs.
The referee.
Yeah. Which makes the shadow on Undertaker that much more impressive. So, cool. But yeah, no, that I do not see that. That cannot happen in Saudi Arabia. Like, come on. Come on.
Undertaker's shadow is going the wrong way.
Yeah,
look at Sting's shadow and Undertaker's shadow.
Yeah. Well, nobody's perfect.
But anyway.
Okay? Nobody's perfect.
No.
I would agree with you, but I also said that Shawn Michaels would never wrestle again.
Well, he's saying it again now. He's not coming back anymore. He's going to leave it to a new generation. Although he was part of the new generation, I guess, so maybe that's...
Well, if anyone should come back to have a proper match now, and kind of get rid of the bad taste of Saudi Arabia, it should be Shawn Michaels.
Yeah, it is. He was the best in that match too. So.
Yeah, he still looked like he could go, and he were all right. He just Kane and Undertaker forgot to catch him.
Yeah.
It seems to be a thing about Saudi Arabia. Go over there, we pay you lots of money, you land on your head.
Yeah, don't work with Undertaker in the Middle East.
Yeah, pretty much.
You got to be above 50.
Pretty much.
So how long is it going to be before we see Austin come out of retirement in Saudi Arabia?
No.
Well, he keeps saying he won't do it as well, but
I know, but it's one of them things. You're thinking you keep getting arenas with fucking 4,000 people in it.
Oh man, I don't know. Like they've got a problem on their hands with like just giving out money, and like an exorbitant amount of money to these like old talent stars, and just you should be saving that for something. I feel because
You should be saving it, and also you shouldn't be doing it with people that are now getting to the point where they're going to kill each other in the ring.
Yeah, because like at some point, I don't think All Elite Wrestling is going to be picking up Goldberg. I don't think they're going to pick up the Undertaker. You know, like if they did hypothetically, I don't think it's going to be an in-ring sort of role for them. If anything, it might be like commentary or like backstage work or something. But I don't know. Like, just to throw like this exuberant amount of cash at talent just for them to go over to Saudi Arabia and, as you said, beings land on their head is ridiculous and not a good way to do business. I feel, in my opinion.
But the thing is like it's this thing of, you know, what have we had before in Saudi Arabia? So we had who did Triple H first face?
Cena.
So we had that one, which
that was
wasn't
the first
bad.
match too.
Yeah, and then on what was the one after that? What was the most recent?
Oh, Triple H, Randy Orton.
It was yeah. Sorry, no. I was so we had the Crown Jewel one with Shawn. So that went wrong because Triple H he had his injury, didn't he, from that, and Shawn landed on his head, and then
Kane got his face knocked off as well.
His hair ripped out. And then we've had Goldberg and Undertaker, which I've got to be honest, scared the living shit out of me when I was watching that. I actually thought that they were going to have to stop this show or something, because it was just like, I don't know, it were beyond car crash. It's like, I winced at every move, and on both occasions when they landed on their heads, it was just like, I thought that was it. I thought they were dead. Especially the jackhammer thing with Undertaker. I thought as soon as he just dropped him, I was just like, that's it, he's done. And they're not learning lessons here. So, like, they're making teases online of Sting and Undertaker, saying, imagine. It would not surprise me if that happens in Saudi later this year. And what are we going to see in that?
Somebody probably with a much more worse injury, I feel. Because as you said, Sting's pretty brittle. Undertaker, I mean, he can still go, but he's not the Undertaker of 1993, to go back to your point. Yeah, it's a match I don't want to see anymore.
Yeah, it's a match that I want to see in theory a lot more than I do in practice.
Yeah.
Well,
let's put it this way:
done,
it's like the Extreme Rules to keep advertising this tag match with Undertaker, and it's got Undertaker's picture from about 10 years ago. Advertising him. Do that Imagine picture again, WWE, and put a genuine picture up of what Sting looks like at the moment, and put one up of Undertaker, what they look like at the moment, and see whether it looks as impressive as that picture.
Agreed.
Because you're selling promotion. Because if they do it in Saudi, you guarantee you them kind of photos are what will be the images to sell the show.
Oh.
There'll be images from God knows how long ago. They won't be. It's like the one with Randy Orton and Triple H that they did this time round. Oh, sorry, no. WrestleMania, sorry. Triple H and Batista. Batista didn't have any friggin' nipples on his picture.
I feel like only you would notice that.
It's just like... It's ridiculous, I know you've got to maximise your stars and things like that, but it isn't fair to take someone who's in the early to mid-50s and use a picture of them when they're in their early 40s and edit that to make them look better than what they are.
Oh, yeah, like what they do with Ric Flair all the time.
And it's ridiculous. Yeah. It's like, I'm sorry, but you're exploiting someone of an age, and when they're going out there and landing on the friggin' head...
Yeah. No,
I mean, what I mean, what would be the reaction in all seriousness if Undertaker died in that ring in Saudi Arabia after that jackhammer?
Oh.
Do you know what I mean? It's like, you talk. I don't care, like, previous histories and things like that. Like, you take any 55-year-old man and drop him on his head like that. How many of them are, you're taking a real risk of.
Then Cole would say something about safety and all that, going into that spiel. Like the next night of Raw.
I just find it really irresponsible that if you can't, like if like now I mean, I don't. When is the next Saudi show? Is it October, November time?
November.
So you've got between now and November. So if they're teasing Sting and Undertaker, if that match was ever a possibility of happening, them two should be working out now, and they should be doing the match in private, and they should be absolutely perfecting it to the point where they're not killing each other.
Right.
Because if you're going to get paid, God knows how many $10 million or whatever stupid amount they're getting paid, then WWE should be, you know what I mean, making the facilities for that to be possible.
Right.
To ensure safety.
But how much of that is like at the last minute? Like suddenly WWE wants this match and it's like, okay, we want Undertaker and Sting, and then they go ahead and announce it like maybe 2-3 weeks ahead of schedule, instead of like right now, because as you point out, they could be training for it, they could be trying to get into the best shape that they can be to head on over there and put on, hopefully, like at least maybe a 3-star match. And not have like these train wrecks where you're dropping people on their head and whatnot. I do agree with that. But again,
I just think when you're dealing with that kind of money, you're trying to balance taking that kind of money and someone's health. And every time that this is happening and these shows are happening, they're taking older wrestlers and they are hurting themselves whilst they're out there.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, you're reaching a point that you've got very lucky. You had Goldberg smash his face into a flaming turnbuckle and slice his head home, give himself a concussion, then get tombstoned on his actual head, and then try and give a jackhammer to a 54-year-old Undertaker and drop him right smack on the top of his head and fold him up. It's like, that should never... I mean, the match ended on a chokeslam.
Because they couldn't do the reversal tombstone spot.
Exactly, you dropped him. It's like, why are you even trying this now? You both have landed on your head.
Yeah.
It's like, just end this because it's not working. And it's just like, it's beggars belief. I can't believe that a company can sit there. I mean, if I was Vince, I'd be watching every Saudi show from behind a couch, begging that no one gets hurt.
Yeah. Yeah, especially considering they're still relying on The Undertaker to pop a rating.
I mean, the thing with Undertaker is you think back to the John Cena thing at WrestleMania, and it was a bit lackluster. But at the end of the day, he just came into the ring, he did his finishes, gave the crowd a bit of a moment, and left. And it's like, that's fine. And that's all Saudi Arabia needs. If they're obsessed with just making sure that they get the stars from the past, they can come out and they can do something like that. Just let him come out and give someone a chokeslam, and you're not going to drop anyone on their head. But don't put him in a match with another person that's above 50 and has the potential to be paralyzed in a match.
Yeah, no, I agree.
Anyway, sorry, I'll get off my soapbox.
No, that's perfectly fine. We haven't had you on the show in months, so I mean it's understandable. Some of the other talking points, Miz and Elias had a 2 out of 3 falls match. I think Miz went over 2-0, something like that. Or no, they did the quick one fall each before the commercial, and then did the third fall after it. What else here? We had... this was something. Seth Rollins and the Man, Becky Lynch, being challenged to a match by Maria and Mike Kanellis.
Oh my god. Has anyone ever been buried this much? Like, Undertaker would have been watching this, taking notes on how to bury people like this. This is unbelievable.
Well, first, yeah, Maria walks up and then is talking trash and then calls Mike a bitch. Or her bitch, rather.
Yeah.
And then they have the match. And then when Maria gets tagged in, she grabs a microphone and she's like, "Whoa, I can't be hit, I'm pregnant." And then proceeds to trash talk Mike Kanellis after the match and whatnot. And
Mike loses.
Yeah.
And then Maria berates him for not being man enough to impregnate her.
Oh my god.
Holy shit.
Well, as like Corey said at the end of it, he's like, "Oh, is she pregnant, or is this just a lie, or is she having an affair with someone else?"
Well, she actually is, so they have to go. They have to go with that in the storyline that she actually is pregnant. But are they suggesting that he's not the dad?
That's what I mean. It's just
Because-
like, what? Where are you going with this?
Yeah, that's not going to end well. Like, that's terrible.
I mean, it's an interesting finish to a match. I'll give him credit for that. Like, I've never seen anybody say, "You know what, I can't compete, I'm pregnant," before.
I'll talk about the uterus the way she did.
Yeah.
Oh god, yeah.
Pushed an 8-pound baby out of my uterus. I hope they announce her as that as like a moniker. That'd be great.
Yeah,
Hall of
I'm
Fame.
gonna say
Like a list of accomplishments like they do with Baron Corbin.
Yeah. Yeah.
how Becky Lynch got that intro for beating Ronda Rousey for a good 2 months.
Yeah.
This is the lady that pushed an 8-pound baby out of her uterus.
Yeah.
The best in the world.
They I didn't care for the Springer stuff afterwards. Yeah. I agree with Chuck's, like, holy shit, Mike is like completely buried.
After just signing a new contract too. So he's there for, I don't know, 3 more years or whatever.
Yeah.
And this is how you start off. Like, what do you do now? Does he go back to 205 or do you just give up?
Well, I like the fact that they're being used, and
He's hoping to take that next step up and challenge for the 24/7 championship.
He's beneath even that right now.
I've got to be honest. R-Truth, Drake Maverick, probably the only things that I'm really enjoying on Raw.
Actually doing quite well, yeah.
Yeah.
The stuff with the honeymoon, that was all pretty good. That's another thing actually with the look of the show, the feel of the show, the sameness. The 24/7 title, surely that is an excuse to get out of the arena and go see some landmarks, do some fun stuff in each town.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Not taking advantage of that.
Not yet, but I do think that...
Well, we know what the inside of a bathroom looks like inside of an airplane.
I was just going to say, I've got to give them
Those
credit for
weren't
the
on
airplane
TV.
thing.
Yeah.
That was good stuff, but they didn't put it on TV.
That's
Oh,
true.
that's WWE, isn't it?
That's WWE's fault.
Yeah.
I
But
mean,
the stuff with the wedding was good too.
Yeah, not on TV.
Uh,
I do like the fact that it supposedly it's like the biggest thing that YouTube is, or that WWE's put on YouTube, like, as of late. If you look at the numbers, it's been generating like the most views week after week after week.
Mm.
But
So it is a
again,
hit.
it's just because it's different, isn't it? You don't...
Yeah.
You don't go into it thinking there's a massive formula to this. I mean, there is, but I mean, there's different environments, different directions are going in. It doesn't come across like the old, welcome to Monday Night Raw. Like how we had Steph at the start of, yeah. It's just like at least that there's going to be something of interest that you won't have seen in previous weeks. So
maybe there's a lot of the same guys chasing R-Truth around.
Yeah, I kind of want somebody else to be chasing after the 24/7 title. Someone of like importance,
I would like an explanation as to why anyone wants it. Since R-Truth has had it, he's done nothing but complain about it.
But it's his baby.
Well, that's because he thought that he only.
back.
That's because he thought he only had to hold it for 7 days.
Well, he
Oh,
says
yeah.
like he's constantly being chased, and it's he can't sleep, he can't do anything without looking over his shoulder. So what are you getting from having this thing? Do you get paid more? But presumably you get a bonus, but
A $24.07 raise.
exactly. And is that per day, or I don't know, per hour when you're on the show, or like why do you want this thing? Is it just to get on TV? Because the other guys are on TV now anyway.
Yeah, Mick Foley kind of bigged it up a lot. And it was part of the, make Raw a little bit more gritty and shit like that. But he didn't really specify why it's important,
Yeah.
And it's kind of like, Hardcore Title 2.0. I mean, that's the point of it.
With no hardcore.
Right. But it's just, I don't know. I agree. Well, like, why should you be a 24/7 champion?
Do you know when Truth in all seriousness said that he thought he only had to hold it for 7 days or something?
Yeah.
I think that something like that would be quite cool if it was something where if you could hold on to it for a month, you would get the 30 spot in the Rumble or something like that. Just something that.
Yeah.
Well, you can say whoever has held it for the longest cumulative time over the year gets something. Gets the number 30 spot, or gets.
In the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal.
Oh God.
That'll be the twist. Our Truth would finally do it and think that he's getting the number 30 spot because he didn't get it with Nia Jax last year, and they inform him that it's for the Andre the Giant match.
Oh my God.
You get to enter at number 30, even though the match starts at the same time as everyone else.
Yeah.
You just get an entrance.
Get to come out last. Yeah, exactly. Sounds about right, though.
Yeah, I think they should do something like that.
I don't know. I kind of want to see like a title change, like a 24/7 title change happen while another match is happening in the ring, a little bit.
I'll give them time.
I mean, yeah. I mean, it's still early. I mean, they could probably do it. It's just I don't know. Oops, sorry. What's over here? Sorry.
But they have fallen very lucky with R-Truth and Drake Maverick because they're the only two out of the lot that they've had that actually make it properly like entertaining, if you know what I mean. Like a lot of the others giving them that kind of material just wouldn't work.
I think you might be onto something there, Smith. I think actually during the Rumble or some other match that R-Truth is, I think it has to be like a Battle Royal or a Rumble. He could get pinned, and it obviously doesn't make any difference for the Rumble itself, but it could change hands during the Rumble.
I'd be okay with that. Yeah.
I think that could be something they do.
Yeah. And I just get rid of the whole like, okay, you can't have a title change during this match. We suspended the 24/7 gimmick for this match itself. Like that's kind of lame. Stop doing that. You're devaluing the title. Let's see. Yeah, the NXT Team Champions, the Street Profits, confronted Paul Heyman, which was kind of cool, I guess. Nikki Cross defeated Carmella. Drake Maverick and defeated R-Truth to become the new 24/7 champion, and then United States champion Ricochet defeated AJ Styles, and the Club reformed once again to attack Ricochet after the match.
Mm-hmm.
Any thoughts on the Club reforming?
It's okay.
Okay,
moving on.
I think it could be something. It's kind of a shame they don't have Finn Balor there as well.
Yeah.
We'll see what they do, if they make it mean something, or if they're just going to be a mid-card thing.
Yeah, that's the thing, isn't it? It's like if you feel that it's going to lead to, if they run roughshod over the place for a bit, it'd be quite cool. It's
yeah.
But again, you don't know if obviously you got Eamon and Bischoff now who are taking your lead on things. But again, the thing that gets me with that is that if they're gonna have like Heyman and Bischoff in charge of each show, then are they going to start getting rid of this wild card thing and actually keeping rigid to people being on each other's shows?
Good question.
That's a very good
Because
question.
if you're taking over something and like you're putting one spin on things, the other person, you know what I mean? Like you just effectively you've got to work together to create something that jointly works for you. If that's the case, if you're going to have separate rosters and keep to it, like the old brand split, then it is genuinely a competition between the two of them to try and make the best products their own. You know. But it's not clear on exactly where things lie with that.
Not sure what the hell that was. Somebody on a fucking motorcycle just zooming by. That's weird. Sorry. Yeah. No, somebody on a motorcycle, like a racing motorcycle, just zooming across here. Not sure if you could hear it. Sorry. Apologies for it. But yeah, no, I agree. If you have these two guys writing both shows, you got to keep the talent separated. If you're trying to have any sort of merit with the brand split whatsoever, to keep both shows separated, like you got to keep the talent on the respective shows. And I think even Bischoff, when I think Inside the Ropes on YouTube posted a clip from Inside the Ropes Live or whatever, from however far back it was, he even said to the crowd, if he were to do a brand split, you got to keep the talent on their respective shows if you're going to have any sort of merit to it whatsoever.
Of course, totally agree.
Yeah,
I do find it interesting though, if you think that like Raw obviously had like the hardcore spot with Braun and Bobby,
right,
which kind of felt like, oh, that's a bit of a Heyman thing.
yeah.
And then you've got the club reforming on SmackDown, which you're thinking, well, Bischoff's in charge. Is he starting to do like some kind of NWO thing?
The club was on Raw too.
Yeah. Oh, was it on Raw? Sorry,
Formed on Raw and showed up on SmackDown. See, you got to keep them separate.
Yeah. But the Bischoff hasn't started yet.
Right.
He's going to. We think it's is it the 17th or something after the pay-per-view, whenever that's going to be. Tuesday 16th, I guess.
Right.
So he is coming, and maybe they're doing some groundwork. I don't know, but not quite yet.
But it does. I mean, the thing as well is like it just makes you laugh when you think like Vince put, Shane in charge of SmackDown and Stephanie in charge of Raw in the story and said, I want you to rip each of his heads off and all that kind of shit.
Yeah.
Nothing ever happened, and now they're genuinely supposed to have put Paul Heyman and Eric Bischoff in charge of these shows.
Well, yeah. Well, I think Vince said to Steph and Shane that I want to see throat slit, which is not PG.
No,
it's still zero throat slit, by the way. But,
I also like the idea that Eric Bischoff can sit down. I like the idea that Eric Bischoff can sit down and write a storyline for Shane McMahon.
God, how does Shane feel about this whole thing? Such a kick in the face for this guy.
No wonder he's booking himself to win everything and get people to call him best in the world.
Yeah, I wonder how much. That's a good question, actually. How much influence does Shane have on his own storylines? How much stroke?
Really not very much.
I imagine that he's got to have something. I mean, come on.
Yeah. Speaking of SmackDown, Shane McMahon was on the Kevin Owens show along with Drew McIntyre, where Kevin Owens seemingly turned face again.
I don't know. What was that about?
That was weird. I don't know. I'm not sure. He's kind of like a tweener, I want to say. Not really a face, but not really a heel either. But I don't know. Then we had Daniel Bryan defeating Big E in a match that happened right after the Kevin Owens show. And then Nikki Cross and Bayley exchanged words in a very special moment of bliss where Nikki Cross was hosting. And
it was
Bayley,
so special.
Yeah, and then Bayley kicked Nikki Cross's butt in like 5 minutes or so. It seems like we're also back into the like short time matches for women's matches now. If maybe it's just me, I don't know, but it doesn't seem like we're getting fulfilling women's angles now on TV. Other than, hey, this person said something really awful about you on Twitter. and I blocked him for it.
They spent so long building up this storyline that Nikki deserves a title match, and then Bayley just beats her.
Yeah.
Not even on pay-per-view.
Yeah, weird. Andrade defeated Apollo Crews, which I completely forgot about. Not gonna lie. Ember Moon defeated Mandy Rose. Still not over that whole donut fiasco.
No.
Which I'm still saying we're the Walmart special. The Walmart special donuts, the brown box special. Heavy Machinery defeated Kevin Owens and Dolph Ziggler to advance to the Extreme Rules Tag Team Championship Triple Threat match. And one thing I also glossed over was Kofi Kingston and Samoa Joe with a face-to-face that involved a middle finger.
Oh, it's so edgy. So edgy.
So edgy that they almost forgot to get a shot of it.
Yeah, it was kind of stuck behind his head. I thought that was deliberate at one point.
I thought
maybe they couldn't show it. You actually also forgot the highlight of the week.
Oh, yeah?
Which is Senor Benjamin, who was going to win the WWE title.
God. Yeah. Who do you think is going to win the WWE title? So-and-so. And he just looks off in space.
Up. He looks down. He looks up. He looks down.
What?
He smiles and walks off.
Yeah.
That's it.
I think they even posted that on YouTube.
The hell was that all about?
I don't know. And you know what's worse? Is that, like, by next week or 2 weeks from now, it's probably not even going to be mentioned. It's just going to be an afterthought.
Apparently, Robert Roode has already lost his mustache. Well, he hasn't lost his mustache. He's just grown the rest of the beard again.
Oh.
You're kidding!
Apparently, he's on main event. He's the main event muscle man now. And he's, he's just got his beard back.
He was awesome.
Well,
all these things they do, and they just...
He wasn't awesome. He was glorious, first off. Second of all...
I liked him when he had his tash.
Yeah.
I mean... I guess I liked it, but at the same time, I would have liked it more if they would have went with, like, he's the long-lost grandchild to Rick Rude. And then they have
just with a different spelled name.
Yeah, and just have him do, like, sleazy things or whatever. Oh man, here, we'll throw this up on the stream here. That's disappointing. Maybe this is no. I was gonna say this is like maybe a main event in the can, and it's just like just air a rerun or whatever. But no, that's Cesaro's current entrance. EC3 without the red Solo Cup, and yeah, that's disappointing. Oh well.
Oh well. R.I.P. Press F for Robert Roode's mustache.
F. Big ol'
F.
Okay. There you go.
There it is.
I think that might be it for now. Very extended edition of our show. Probably to make up for the fact that we're probably... I don't know if there's going to be one next week. I don't know. There might be. But in case
there should be. We've got the Fight for the Fallen or whatever AEW show to predict.
Oh, Jesus Christ. Is that really next week? Or the week before?
Yeah,
because it's going to air... Yeah, you're right. God damn it.
Yeah, July 13th will be the day we do the show.
Wow. All right. Well, we'll definitely have a show then. Beans, are you going to be there?
Unfortunately not. I'll be on a campsite, probably pissed as a fart.
No, on assignment.
On assignment. There you go. Yeah. Yeah. Hopefully, Will be back next week, and then we can have him on. Well, you got to get like everybody, like as one.
One of these days, we
are
one.
Yeah,
we are one.
I mean, hopefully, I'll be back on a week after next.
Oh, you're just gonna be an afterthought, like Shelton Benjamin looking off in space and whatnot.
Well, if I can't make it, I'll make sure to send Shelton in my place.
Okay, thank you. And don't wait till the show or like a week after the show to be like, oh, look at these predictions. Oh man, they're so perfect.
I'm going to say, can you send me a list now of Fight for the Fallen?
Do we even have like a match card for it?
We do. There's only 5. Actually, I've also seen that Extreme Rules is on the 14th, so that's one weekend of both.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
Oh, you definitely need to send them to me before Thursday.
What the fuck?
So yeah, we've got 5 matches. I'm guessing they've got to do more than that, surely.
Oh my god, yeah. What the fuck? I'm sorry. Like, that's ridiculous. Alright, well, I mean, we'll see which one's the better show, I guess, next week.
Yeah.
Or 2 weeks from now, I suppose. Yeah, that's gonna be it for us. We'll be back, hopefully, yeah, definitely next week, for sure. Unless weather here is, like, crazy. It's been thunderstorming for, like, the past 4 or 5 days. It's been crazy here.
Oh, we need one of them. It's so humid here.
Yeah, I'm glad to have, like, a break from that for the next couple of days, thankfully.
Yeah.
And,
I'm sweating like Brock Lesnar and Shane McMahon start next to each other.
Jesus.
Purple.
Oh. That's gotta be not healthy. Anyway, we'll be back next week. Enjoy, I was gonna say enjoy burkas. Yeah, sure, enjoy burkas. Don't hate them like Chuck's does.
What the hell?
I don't know where that came from.
I
What are you saying?
I don't know. We'll be back next week. Take care, everybody. Good night.
Bye.
Bye.